Bienvenue à Paris, and to this special edition of the daily podcast episodes bringing you the inside stories from the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Allez, allez, allez! Here's your host, John Gregory.
A warm welcome to this 10th episode of this special daily series. Thanks for joining me. We'll be bringing you a short daily episode as we guide you on what to expect the next day at the Olympic canoe slalom and kayak cross in Paris, and recap on the results of the last day's racing. I'm joined by Etienne Stott and commentator Mally Johnson. Today we have results of the kayak cross round 1 and repêchage. Actually, this is more of a recap of the competition than individual results. It was tempting to start today's episode with music from Paddles Up. Paddlers of a certain age growing up in the UK, as well as paddlers who competed in it during those 80s and 90s, know exactly what I'm referring to. No question, it was Paddles Up that inspired me to pick up a paddle. Our modern-day equivalent, kayak cross, made its debut yesterday in Paris. Kayak cross is like Marmite. You love it or you hate it. I've seen precisely 0.087 seconds of kayak cross and I'm already in love. Brilliant innovation, going to be epic. That was said by Matthew Pinsent on social media. He won 4 consecutive Olympic titles in rowing for Great Britain between 1992 and 2004. Olympic gold medalist Etienne Stott from Great Britain highlights how the appreciation of it or dislike are split. Always outspoken, I've come to respect and listen to Etienne's perspectives.
I'm really looking forward to the kayak cross. I think there's been a lot of criticism online, on Facebook, and people talking about it not very complimentarily, I suppose. But as I've been watching it and started to speak to some of the coaches and understand a bit more behind the scenes about the tactics and all the research and super good thinking that's gone behind it, I think it's going to be really, really interesting. And I would really hope that the commentators on the race on TV and in the stadium get some really good input from the coaches who can really explain some of the details that perhaps aren't visible to the naked eye. And then when people watch the show, they'll be able to have this depth of interest revealed to them. So I recommend kayak cross to everyone. I think it's going to be wicked. Yeah, for me, being at the Olympics in Paris has been a wonderful experience. I suppose in London I experienced the Olympics as a participant and very much was involved in all the hullabaloo, I suppose, of medal winning moments. But here in Paris, it's been really nice to experience it as a member of the public in the crowd. I was very, very happy felt very fortunate to get to watch Kimberly Woods and Adam Burgess win their medals for Team GB. But I thought it was super cool to see Nico Justin win the C1 gold for the home crowd. And that was very special because I experienced a home win myself, but I didn't experience it in the stands. And that was really lovely. And yeah, lots of very nice moments bumping into people I used to know and finding out how they're doing, saying hello to them, and yeah, that's been a very heartwarming and wonderful experience. So at least half the reason why I'm in Paris is to campaign on sports and sustainability. I really think sport has a massive role to play here. And I use an analogy. It's a bit like, when you go to the gym and you see people who are kind of pretending to try really hard, but you really know that they could lift a bit heavier. And I think sport really could be doing better. They are kind of making out like they're doing well, but actually I think they could do a lot more. And I think the overall effect of the games, they've worked really hard, made lots of interesting decisions, been very thoughtful about reducing the impact of the Olympics on the environment. And I think that's to be recognised and credit where it's due. But unfortunately, Paris has opened the door to massive greenwashing on the part of its headline sponsors. So I encourage people who are interested in this to read a report, for example, called Polluters on the Podium. And their headline sponsors, Toyota, are exposed as a terrible greenwashing company with a footprint bigger than France, a carbon footprint bigger than France, and in fact are behind the scenes lobbying and blocking progress on electric vehicles, for example, but they're not just the only ones. So I think there's a very mixed bag here, but at least the conversations are happening, and I think that is progress.
That was Etienne Stott. He represented Great Britain at the Olympics in London. He talked to us from Paris, France. In the men's kayak cross round 1, favourites Joe Clark from Great Britain, Boris Neveu from France, Giovanni de Janeiro from Italy, and others made it straight through to the heat. Olympic silver medalist Etienne Stott from France also won his heat. Today there will be 8 heats with 4 athletes each. In the women's kayak cross round 1, favourites Kimberly Woods from Great Britain, Camille Prigent from France, Ricarda Funk from Germany, Monica Doria Villarubla from Andorra won their round 1 and made it straight through to the heat. Stephanie Horn from Italy and others won their respective repêchage. Today there will be 8 heats with 4 athletes each. I again invited commentator Mally Johnson to share his reflection on yesterday's spectacle.
Kayak cross promised to bring a new dimension and a new audience to canoe slalom. Plenty of drama, great television and raw head-to-head argy-bargy. It's early days yet, but the signs are it hasn't disappointed. The big drop down from the ramp provides the photo opportunities, the options at the upstream gates, potential for position changes, and direct competition makes it compelling viewing. I hope that the further the competition goes on, the closer it gets, and that the racing keeps us guessing all the way down the course. My only concern being that the races are sewn up by gate 2. I think it was a brave move to get kayak cross in the programme, and it's taken a lot of hard work over the past few years to improve the format. And it's a shame that canoe sprint had to lose some of its medal events for kayak cross to come in. But if it showcases canoeing, provides a visual spectacle and brings in new fans and greater exposure, and I think it will, then it's all been worth it. Bring on the knockout rounds.
That was Mally Johnson. He is commentating for Eurosport Discovery Plus. He spoke to us from Paris, France. In both men's and women's, the top 2 from each heat go through to tomorrow's quarter-final. The semi-finals and finals and medal ceremonies will follow them to round off the canoe slalom and kayak cross racing in Wasserman. It's not perfect yet. We have work to do to make it easier for spectators and media to understand kayak cross terminology and rules. I might argue that the on-screen graphics in the last year are even better than here in Paris to help viewers immediately recognise which athletes are which, showing the athlete's bib colour, name, country, and ordered by the current leader. Both clever and informative. Thanks to my guests today, Etienne Stott and Mally Johnson. Tomorrow's episode will bring results of the 8 men's and 8 women's kayak cross head-to-head heats. So love it or hate it, kayak cross made a huge splash in Paris to bring paddle sports to the hungry spectators, media and worldwide audiences. If you need more, read Ettore Valdi's brilliantly insightful and eloquent blog. I'm John Gregory, thanks for listening. I'll be back in our next episode released tomorrow at 6 a.m. Central European Time.
That's it for now. Please subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or YouTube and leave a review too. Until the next episode, keep it fast and clean. Au revoir.